Hey, welcome back, B group. So let's make sure that we're getting better at how we do this. But I know I'm kind of a neat freak on this stuff. But let's put our warm up in the back of our math comp book. Um, we're starting our third unit, so at this point we should figure this out by now. That what goes in the front of our comp book is our lessons, our notes. You got nice clean titles to those, so that if an exponent question came up on a test, you can look up exponent, you can go right to it, right? So that's why I'm trying to get your warm ups not to be a part of that. That can just be squished in the back of your comp book. And again, we're not wasting pages. Wherever you did something, just write a squiggly and move on, right? Right below it, and kind of save some of that space. So this was a review to what was our last day. We were looking at this terminology. So this was your last lesson that you all had with me. Well, actually, it wasn't. Your last one was your test, but the one right before that, you did this lesson to get yourself just familiar with what we're going to do for Unit 3. And because we didn't want your test to be a remote test. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got these expressions. We've got are these vocabulary terms: variable, coefficient, exponent, constant, term, equation, and expression. So use the vocab words to fill in the blanks. So what do you think is this 2, this x, the 6, the 4, and the 2? So it would be nice if we were tackling this as a class. But we'll mix what we got here is a variable for the x. Sorry, I feel like I got a sneeze coming. Oh man, sorry about that. So what we've done, and we use variables, so we cross it out. Whenever you got a letter, this could have been an N, a W, a Y, doesn't matter. Whenever you have a letter in an equation, that's your variable. So what's attached to the variable is known as the coefficient. So it tells us we've got 2x's or 2 times. Remember, we have a dot there, 2 times x. So that's known as the coefficient, the number that is attached to the x. Now, we've got just plain old numbers here, but those aren't coefficients because they're not attached to an x. So we've taken care of coefficient. The next one that most people talk about is the exponent. This power up here, call it an exponent or call it a power. Now, I forgot to tell you, what you all should have done is wrote this down and kind of filled in these blanks, and you could be filling them in as we go. All right. So, which is what? We've got an equation or expression. This whole thing is an equation because it's got an equal sign, but we don't have this whole thing as a term or as something we need to fill in. So what we have next, sorry, we just took exponent. What we have next, the 6 is a constant. It's constant. It's going to constantly be just a 6. It's not going to be anything else. This 2 will get multiplied by some number. So let's say that x equals 10. It's not going to forever stay at 2 because 2 times 10 is 20. So this changes. It could be 20. Or if x was 15, 2 times 15 is 30. It's a variable. It's changing. This is never going to change. It's going to stay a constant number. And that's what we call a constant. Term, this 4, we call it a term. We also call it the base. So which a base is what is getting raised to a power. So the base number is 4. It is the term that gets raised to the second power. And 4 to the second power means 4 times 4. And that's really what we're going to get into today is what are exponents. So that was a good little warm-up, hopefully, to get us an idea and remind us what some of those terms mean.